This is what you can do about your health, my podcast about how you can make your body healthy, strong, fit, and inhospitable to disease. I'm Sean McClendon, your host. I'm a certified personal trainer, author, and health and fitness enthusiast. Thank you for joining me. The information on this podcast is based on personal research, experience, and opinion, and is not meant to be a substitute for advice from a doctor or physician. You're advised to consult your doctor or physician before making any changes to your lifestyle. All right, so I haven't really recorded a podcast episode per se in a very long time because I decided to kind of change my approach to just producing content in general. But from here on out, my podcast episodes, let me say this: for the time being, they'll be a little bit more infrequent, but they will be based more so on whenever I talk with people about their experiences with accomplishing health and fitness goals, overcoming health challenges and whatnot, because I think that's a better podcast kind of format. So that said, I'm actually bringing a episode of my former podcast back for this podcast episode. I interviewed a lady back in 2019 by the name of Tonja Jordan, and she had a tremendous amount of weight loss that she experienced. She also overcame, high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. And so I wanted to bring her story back in hopes that it'll help you if you are looking to lose weight or you're looking to see what you can do as far as like if you're dealing with health challenges like, type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. Make sure you listen. Make sure that you take information for yourself and apply it to your own life. Before I get into this, I want to mention the book that I have called What You Can Do About Belly Fat. The link is in the description. And basically what I do is just based on my own personal experience as well as my experience with training others, I kind of give you some key tips that you can implement today to lose belly fat. Okay, so make sure you get that copy. But without further ado, here's my interview with Tonja Jordan. Listen and enjoy. All right, so I'm here with Tonja Jordan, spelled Tonja, Jordan, who has an excellent, awesome story to share on your health at the crossroads. First of all, Tonja, how are you doing today?
All right, how are you today?
Doing good. As I said just before we started to record, somebody recommended that you check out the podcast and maybe share your story. And probably around the same time, somebody told me you need to find Tonja. So it's really cool that we kind of came together, that kind of thing. But we'll just go ahead and get right into it. Go ahead and hop right in. So you have a story to tell us. Just kind of tell us your story, kind of starting out at like specifically what was your health challenge?
Well, at the age of 39, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Mm-hmm. And at the age of 40, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure.
Okay.
At that point, I decided that, I'll get my life together. Well, that lasted all but 3 months.
Gotcha.
And I lost probably 30 pounds and I gave it up. I didn't try any harder. But in 2013, my dad died of diabetes and high blood pressure, kidney failure, all those complications. So in 2014, my A1C got up to 8.1. So and I was 366 pounds.
If you don't mind me interjecting, so with the A1C, what's a normal range, just for folks who may not know what the numbers mean?
I think for a non-diabetic is maybe 5.2 maybe.
Oh.
And I was already high to start off with, but then it was a little too high.
Okay.
But so I decided after leaving my doctor's appointment that I was going to go and join Weight Watchers again. And I had a membership at the Wellness Center, which I had been a member there for probably about 17 years, but I just really didn't go.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and after I joined Weight Watchers again, and got a schedule for the pool classes at the wellness center. And that's how it all started.
Okay. So you said you had been a member, but here I'm guessing here whenever you joined the pool classes, is this kind of when the tide really kind of started to change, you say?
Yes, yes, it did. I started taking aqua classes 2 days a week, in which that was, it was my off days. That's all I did.
Okay. Well, good. And what about so you're doing these aqua classes, and what about, did you start to make dietary changes around this time as well?
Yes, I did. I rejoined Weight Watchers.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which now is known as WW. But so I had to, learn how to eat again. So a healthier way to eat. And so at first I just started like just baking chicken without adding any grease to the pan when I put it in the oven. And,
right.
Started trying vegetables more. But, so actually when I originally started, my meals were very boring because I really didn't know. And as I week by week going to the Weight Watchers meeting, people offered different recipes, and so I started enjoying food. I started enjoying the healthier foods.
I'm glad that you mentioned that that it was initially kind of boring, because to be honest, like I know that's a big deterrent for a lot of people. That what am I going to eat that's interesting? Because everything that's interesting don't seem like it's good for you, but you still persisted nonetheless. And then with time, you actually saw that it doesn't really have to be boring per se.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And you said you also got meal ideas from your fellow Weight Watchers folks and whatnot.
Yes, and fast forward on after I started going to the gym more often, started finding out different things. I was leaving out of a class one day at the wellness center, and one of the members was eating apples that she had put lemon juice and cinnamon on.
Oh,
and I was like, this is good. So being in that type of environment, you learn more of different foods to enjoy. And it's not like apples had always been available. I still like collards and cabbage and turnips. It's just I prepare them differently now.
Right. Give us a little insight into how differently you prepare them.
Well, instead of cooking them in fat, I use smoked turkey necks, and I play around with a lot of seasonings, and peppers. If you just play around with something and find what interests your taste buds.
That's good. Gosh, what was I going to say? Yeah, it's so important. Like you mentioned, you are part of a community with Weight Watchers, and you kind of mentioned like the whole thing with the apples, with lemon juice, and with cinnamon. I've heard of them with lemon juice, but I had not heard of sprinkling cinnamon on top as well.
Actually, the lemon juice prevents them from turning brown, and cinnamon gives it that little sweet taste.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, good stuff. That's really good. It's so important to be a part of a community, because I know that if we're, for example, starting something and then you run somebody who's like, man, it don't take all that. Why are you doing that? You need to come on, eat, and all that kind of stuff. That'll surely not be very helpful, But you got a lot of people who got the same or similar goals as you. All y'all going in the same direction, and so that help naturally just kind of comes from there. Yeah, that's really good. So tell me this. Okay, so you said you started at 366. Where are you at now?
Right now I'm at 268.
Wow.
At one point, I was at about 240. I picked up some weight, and so now what I'm doing is working on getting that back off. And that's the thing. With weight loss, you know, a healthy weight loss, it's not going to be this straight line that you're going to be consistent with losing all the time. And it's going to be bumps in the roads because somebody's going to have a party and they're going to have pound cake and ice pies, all the stuff that I love. It's just that I'm learning that instead of eating like that 99% of the time, I eat like that maybe 20% of the time.
And so do you have big issues with cravings for those particular foods? Or are you kind of pretty solid? Go ahead.
Well, not as much as I used to. It was a point in my life that I could not walk past a slice of pound cake. I couldn't do it. On the times that I do now, I celebrate that.
Amen.
So I celebrate that because that's, you know, pound cake to me is like alcohol to an alcoholic.
Yeah. And you know, here's the thing, food addiction is real. It's real. And in our society, we put a lot of, you know, bad kind of connotation on alcoholism, which, you know, of course, it's very harmful and all that kind of thing. But we tend to not look at food addiction that way because maybe the effects seem maybe not as bad or that kind of thing. But it's a real thing, especially when you got sugary, you know, stuff everywhere, you know, fast food and all the junk food in the grocery stores and all that kind of stuff, you know. So I'm glad you mentioned that, you know, like pound cake essentially is almost like the alcohol kind of thing for an alcoholic, that kind of situation. Yeah, it's important. That's really important. So with that said, like, what for you over this journey? So you initially lost about 120 pounds and now you're kind of holding that about 260 or whatever, which is excellent. What has been the hardest part? What was the hardest part, one, of initially losing the weight, and then two, of maintaining what you've lost and continuing your journey?
Well, the hardest part for me is I work in a hospital and it's a lot of food. You know, families are appreciative for the care, and I work as a secretary. So, you know, donuts, cakes, pies are something that are brought often. So that's very hard for me. But with when you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle, see, those things are not going to go away. You know, you can choose not to go in a bar or a liquor store, but you can't choose to stay away from food because you have to eat to survive.
That's right.
So yes, that's the challenging. Food is my biggest challenge. I exercise 6 days a week. And
wow.
So exercising is I love doing it. I love lifting weights. I love exercising, but food is my challenge.
Yes. I know even at my office, you know, it seems like people would always try to find a reason to bring some Krispy Kremes or some, Daylight Donuts down there where I work. So somebody's always trying to find some reason to bring donuts. And I literally, across the aisle from my desk, there used to be a guy who had a plastic crate. He kept stocked full of every single sweet candy bar, whatever you could possibly desire. Even stuff that I hadn't had in years, like, oh man, they still make that, you know.
Exactly.
You know, so it's real. It's real. Like you said, I love what you said. It ain't going away. It's not going to go away. That's good. That's really good. That's good. So you said you exercise 6 days a week. Kind of give us like a snapshot of a little bit more detail with your exercise routine, as well as kind of like your diet and any other kind of healthy habits that you adopted on your health journey.
Well, now let me tell you where I started
Okay.
at, because I don't like for people to think that I started at 6 days a week. I started at 2 days a week in the pool, and those 2 days were my off days. Later, I, probably about 4 months in, that's when I ended up with I hired a personal trainer,
Okay.
and she introduced me to weights
Mm.
and start taking more land classes over just the aqua classes. And Zumba is, is my favorite thing to do because I love to dance.
Oh, okay.
So
Mm.
I went from, so weightlifting and Zumba was pretty much what the classes that I enjoy doing. Fast forward to now, I do weight training 6 days a week, and on my days off, I do weight training along with maybe a Zumba class, and I take it's kind of strength training, cardio type class,
Mm-hmm.
and also I teach Zumba also.
Wow. Awesome.
So Wednesdays are my days where if boot camp is going on, I start my morning off with boot camp at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
I personal train with my trainer, and then I do a class that's called Ripped at 9.
Mm.
I teach the class at 11:30.
Wow.
Then I'll teach another class at 5:30.
Good news. So what is that about? What about somewhere between 3 and 4 hours of working out
Yes.
or more? Goodness, man.
Especially on Wednesdays, just on Wednesdays mainly.
Right. That's hardcore, Tonja. Goodness, man. Tonja goes hard. Goes real hard. So what about like a snapshot of your diet in a day? How many meals and
I eat I eat about 4 to 5 times a day.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's for the most part.
Mm-hmm. And in general, what do those meals consist of? Like, is it like 3 meals and a snack, maybe? I mean, 2 snacks or what?
Okay, that depends on the day I'm having. On my very good days,
Mm-hmm.
it's 3 meals and 2 snacks.
Okay.
For the most part, because I have to be to work at 6:45, I normally eat breakfast about, probably about 7:30.
Okay.
7:30 o'clock is when I do breakfast. If I'm doing a boot camp early in the morning, I may have a protein shake before I go to boot camp, or some type of protein before I go to boot camp.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So just because I'll be very active that morning.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So you need something for your body to use with that. Yeah. Good, very good, very good. Any other healthy habits that you've adopted, like for example, like to reduce stress or anything like that?
Well, I really was something that I've never thought I would say that I like, but I love like apples and bananas. Those are like my favorite things to eat with peanut butter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love that too.
That now, whereas pound cake used to be, it was really my unhealthy food that I love, but my healthy food that I've fallen in love with is peanut butter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now it's a healthy fat, so you have to limit your servings, because what I've learned that everything has a serving size, and what my trainer says to me is that if you want a bag of Doritos, you can eat a bag of Doritos, but if it's 15 chips, eat 15 chips and put it aside.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. I love. Oh, go ahead.
And one of my favorite things, other favorite things are donuts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a Dunkin' Donuts right by the hospital. So when I get off, what I've started doing is I started making some bad choices about going over there and getting donut holes. So now what I try to do is just, if I want donut holes, I'll go over there and I'll get 2 donut holes and my coffee, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. That way you just get like a little taste, and then you get on out of there, and that's it. That's good. That's
Exactly.
really good. That's good. Um, so tell me this. We're about to wrap it up in a little bit, but like with your whole journey, you know, with losing weight and becoming a Zumba instructor and all of that, like what does it mean to you in a nutshell for a person to actually take responsibility for their health?
Well, what with you know, in like in my family,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about my family. It's um, I have a lot of family members with diabetes and high blood pressure, and those type of things. For the most part, you can prevent them.
Mm-hmm.
And and what a lot of people tend to say is that it's too expensive to eat healthy. It's too expensive to go to the gym. It's all that's too expensive. Well, actually, I was making that complaint to my trainer just the other day. I was telling her how expensive Weight Watchers is. I said, I can't wait till I get to Lifetimes so I don't have to pay them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even though I'm a diet controlled diabetic, I still have to get diabetes supplies to check my blood sugar to make sure it's in normal range.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point I had so much of that stuff that I didn't need to get any. So, but I ran out, so I had to get a new prescription to get my supplies.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the price of the supplies, and then I started thinking about when I was on blood pressure medicine, when I was on diabetes medicine, because I don't think I mentioned that with my diet and exercises, I came off of all of my medication.
Wow. Amen.
And so when I added up, if I was still on medication, how much my medication cost and the supplies to check my sugars and all, it is twice as much as what I paid. Over a 5 year period, it will be twice as much as what I pay for Weight Watchers.
How about that?
Yes.
How
So
about that?
you can decide how you want to spend your money.
Right, exactly. Just kind of pick and choose, see which one you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly. I've heard people phrase it as like you can either pay for your health on one side with the food and stuff that you eat and this, that, and the other, or you can pay on the other side, you know, with hospital related stuff, medical expenses, and usually it's a lot more on that side. Um, so yeah, exactly. That's really really good. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I just want anyone to know that no matter what size you are or where you're at with health conditions, whether it's bad knees or any type of arthritis, it's something for you to do. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I go to a gym where people are in their 80s and they're taking chair exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can Google almost anything, but never think that if you've had an unhealthy lifestyle all your life, don't think that everything is going to change overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And a healthy weight loss, it doesn't happen overnight. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking to lose 20 pounds in a week, that's not something that you can continue doing. It's
Yeah, amen.
it's not. I just think that the only reason why I haven't gained back, all the weight I've lost, because I've learned a healthier way of living. I've learned a new lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been gradual, and I would have never thought that 5 years ago that I would be teaching exercise and loving exercise. I love to exercise
Mm-hmm.
because knowing that I was once a girl that could not walk very well, that I get up into a 5:30 a.m. class.
Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah. What a testimony for real. That's a true testimony. Um, and thinking about the fact that I mean, to have held off, over 100 pounds, for as long as you have is like truly, truly like a great feat. You know, not something, and then on top of that, to be a Zumba instructor is like, come on, that's awesome. You know what I mean? That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And one of the things I like, as we close, about doing these interviews, like people like you just always kind of help to debunk the myths. Like you said, there's something you can do. There's something out there that you can do, and you can always change your diet and do all these things. It's a matter of whenever you decide to make that decision to do it you know.
Exactly.
So so anyhow, Tonja, I really, really appreciate your time. I thank you because you help, change the lives of listeners who are listening. Somebody specific needs to hear this story. Oh yeah, any if somebody wants to ask you some more questions, how can they reach you? Like an email or something like that?
Yes, my email address is tdjordan at ymail.com. That's the letter Y,
Okay.
mail.com.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook as Tonja TONJA Jordan.
Okay. Okay, good, good. Okay, so what we'll do, listeners, is we're going to include those in the show notes. So if you want to reach out to Tonja, you can talk to her yourself, and she'll help you however she can. And if you're around town, then maybe you can even hop in a Zumba class or something like that. All right, Tonja, thank you, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate. Um, were you about to say something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate your time and everything. Thank you so much. And
Okay.
God bless you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Okay, that was my interview with Tonja Jordan from, again, back in 2019. Hopefully, if you find yourself in a similar place where you're wanting to lose a substantial amount of weight, or you're wondering if you can make changes that'll improve or even help you to overcome type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, hopefully this has been a motivation to you. That's really why I do this podcast, why I do this YouTube channel overall, to really inspire people, open your minds, believe for what maybe you have not seen yet. So I want to help to kind of reinforce or to even plant the seed of belief. Okay. Just as a reminder, my featured book for this episode is my book called What You Can Do About Belly Fat. Hopefully it shows up right in the camera here. And basically in this book, I give you, key tips about eating and lifestyle strategies to help your body to target belly fat, based on my personal experience as well as my personal training experience. Okay. So make sure you look in the description for the link for this and get your copy. Otherwise, thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time.